This is quite unfortunate. This 22-year-old transgender named Clement Hadebe got shot 9 times by a man who took him home thinking he was a woman. As you get to find out the details of the events that led to this tragic outcome, you realize that this was a case of deliberate deception and carelessness, and that this tragedy would have been avoided if Clement had taken the advice given to him by his friends a few hours before his horrific death, because they pleaded and begged him to do what they believed was the right thing, but he refused. This incident is happening just 3 days after a popular crossdresser known as Abuja area mama was murdered in a more brutal manner in Abuja, the capital city of Nigeria, under circumstances that are almost similar to what happened to Clement Hadebe. I'll leave the link to the video under the description, so check it out later. Clement Hadebe was a 29-year-old man from Madadeni, a town in Newcastle, KwaZulu-Natal, South Africa. Clement was gay and he dressed like one. From his picture, your first assumption would be that he is a woman, so it was quite difficult to differentiate him from a lady at first sight. Clement went out with his friends on Sunday, 11th August 2024 for a hangout, just to chill, eat, drink, talk, and have fun, and they did so at a popular spot called Kwamamai Market in downtown Johannesburg, South Africa. So while Clement and his friends were at their table, gisting and having fun, an unknown guy and 2 of his friends decided to join Clement and his own group of friends at their table. Since we'll be talking a lot about this unknown guy throughout this story, let's give him a fake name. I'll be calling him Daniel. So while they were there, Daniel and his friends offered to buy Clement's group some drinks. According to one of Clement's friends who doesn't want to be named, but for the purpose of this story, we'll also call him John. John said that they couldn't say no to free booze, so they accepted the offer. So Daniel bought them drinks, and according to John, Daniel and his friends really spent a lot of money on them that evening. They probably did so to impress Clement. So as the 2 groups were drinking, talking and having fun, John noticed that Daniel had interest in Clement, and he could also tell that Daniel was clearly straight and that he was obviously mistaking Clement to be a woman. When John made this observation, he called Clement aside and told him to reveal to Daniel that he is gay, but Clement refused and then brushed him off. Clement went on to continue playing along with Daniel, giving him all the green lights and signs that he was open for something. As the groups continued having fun and enjoying each other's company, it was getting late, so Daniel asked Clement to go home with him. When John, Clement's friend, heard this, he called Clement aside once again, but this time around, he begged Clement to reveal his sexuality to the guy, because Daniel was clearly going with the impression that he will be taking a woman home. Regrettably, Clement ignored John's advice once again. He refused to reveal to Daniel that he wasn't a woman, and then agreed to go home with him. One of Clement's friends also joined Daniel's car, but he was dropped along the way, the reason being that the men only wanted to be with Clement alone. Before Daniel and his friends left the market, it was said that they had booked a room at a bed and breakfast, also called B&B, a small lodge that offers overnight accommodation and breakfast. So after they left the Kwamamai market, it is very likely that they were heading to the B&B. However, in a horrifying twist of events, in the early hours of Monday morning, 12 August 2024, Clement was found lying in a pool of his blood in the B&B. He had been shot 9 times and his dead body left in the room. Now, it is quite easy to figure out, or at least imagine what played out inside that B&B room, because Daniel and his friends took Clement home with the impression that he was a lady. They had spent a lot of money, as revealed by Clement's friends. Now, it is not known if Clement's friends were all male, but the fact that Daniel's group took interest in Clement alone makes it highly likely that Clement was the only one among them who looked anything close to being a lady. So Daniel and his crew had spent money buying alcohol to win over Clement's friends and also to impress Clement too. It is also not known how feminine Clement's voice was for these guys not to second-guess his true gender. Daniel already had a lot of steamy plans laid out inside his head for Clement, plans that he and his friends were hoping to implement throughout that Sunday night until the next morning. So when they got to the lodge and then found out that who they presumed to be a lady was actually a fellow man like them, they weren't just disappointed, they were angry. And the fact that they shot him 9 times shows how angry they were, because if they just wanted to silence him and cut their losses, a bullet or two would have gotten the job done. But they sprayed 9 bullets into him. That paints the picture of a typical hate crime. I have to say that, as at the time of making this video, this case was still under investigation, so make sure to like, subscribe, and most importantly, turn on the notification bell so that you'll be notified whenever I publish an update on this case. The 3 suspects involved in the crime have not been caught yet. It is not known if there was a security camera in the B&B they booked. But as for the Kwamaimai market where they met, it is very likely that there was no security camera in the place. Also, if the 3 men paid with cash, it would be more difficult to trace them through their transactions in the market. Another thing I found strange was how no one in the B&B heard the gunshots, because they shot at him 9 times. So, unless they used something to soundproof the gun, someone should have heard something. But that's left for the police to figure out. There are a lot of mixed reactions on social media regarding Clement's death. A lot of people blame him for his own death, which makes sense in some ways, because he had numerous chances to correct the wrong impression the 3 guys had about him. The whole encounter that took place that evening was based on the presumption that Clement was a woman. His friends were quick enough to sense what was going on and then begged Clement to clear the air with them before things escalated forward, but he refused, not once but twice. This was a very wrong and dangerous thing to do. However, regardless of whether Clement chooses to reveal his gender or not, no one has the right to take another person's life in such a brutal manner. If they were disappointed about how things turned out, there are 1,000 other things they could have done to him, and the easiest of them would have been to cut their losses and just walk away or send him out of the lodge to find his way home. But they decided to take matters into their own hands, which was also very wrong. An incident like this took place in Nigeria on August 8, 2024, when a crossdresser who also doubled as a sex worker and would stand among female sex workers at night was found brutally murdered and his genitals exposed in a manner that seemed to mock him even in his death. The link to the full story is under the description of this video. I hope the South African police captured the perpetrators of this heinous crime and helped Clement get justice. Do you believe that the right thing would have been for him to reveal his true gender, or you think he is not required to do so? Share your thoughts on this case in the comments below, and don't forget to like, share, and also subscribe to this channel for more true crime stories. Thank you for watching and stay safe.